6. Episode 6. Who thought we would make it this far? I sure as shit didn't.
Why are we doing this still?
You know, because we actually found something we kind of are good at again. So we may as well just keep going with it, right?
Right.
Cool.
So,
well, as always, what do you think this is going to be sponsored by, folks? You're wrong. You're dead wrong. I don't care what you guessed. You're freaking wrong, okay? It's sponsored by Jameson, all right? And it's a triple distilled Irish whiskey established in 1780. That's 4 years after America was established. You know that? That's craziness. So why wouldn't you try something that's just as old as our country and probably a lot better than our fucking country?
where's it distilled?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Distilled at the Bow Street Distillery over in Dublin, Ireland. Some means it's exported, imported, whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to let them know how it tastes, let them know how it feels, just like I always do. And I bet it's going to be exactly the same as always, folks.
How's it taste?
Goddamn delicioso. We have a special guest on the couch. We got Christian's buddy Shane.
Shane,
Hello.
Nichols.
Welcome,
Shane.
And it's always tradition that we have to have the guests take a swig as well.
Oh my gosh, I'm a recovering alcoholic, but but this is my big break, right? So
Right. It's just a little cheat day.
How's it
For a few
taste?
hours.
How's it feel? Does it go down pretty smooth?
it's surprisingly smooth, actually. I didn't expect this out of a small green bottle.
Yeah, we got the smallest bottle today. That was my fault.
Yeah,
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, things in green bottles are normally pretty good. I'm not a big Heineken drinker, but that comes in a green bottle, right?
I enjoy Heineken. My buddy says a Heineken is a Sam Adams you can enjoy.
I like that because I fucking hate Sam Adams, but Heineken's all right, you know?
I've been under the perception that alcohol is alcohol for a while.
Right.
I'm sort of breaking out of that now, that it's like legal to drink. It's not so just like getting a fix. It's kind of making a decision.
Right, true.
So you just came back from California.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Which part?
The part where you were in California, Southern California.
Well,
So so you went out there with your wife, right?
yes,
And
she's no longer with us.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, she's in Russia.
She's from Russia.
She's from Russia, and she's in Russia now again.
They took her back
They did. They didn't take her back. She got kicked out of the United States.
for
Is this
just
from Trump's bullshit?
No, but his bullshit is making it harder for her to come back. So she was an exchange student,
Yeah.
and when you're an exchange student, you have to go back to your home country for a total of 24 months, and she was there for 22. And then she came back here just for a visit, and then we got married, and then we filed for her green card, and then they saw the 2-month discrepancy, and they said, get the fuck out.
I was there for the wedding. It was beautiful.
You were there for the wedding.
Did you say you signed as a
signed it.
witness?
Yep.
Yeah, he's the witness. Him and Alexis are the witnesses. We still support 50% of the people who saw us getting married.
Yeah, the other 50% is kind of a undesirable group.
I mean,
Let's not get into it. Let's not get into it.
we don't have to.
One day.
She affects people's lives in such a strange way where like you want to be her friend, but then she just starts taking your money.
Just toxic. Just
yeah.
toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
Not a good toxic. Not like that Britney Spears song.
Is that a good toxic?
I think so. I mean, it's all right. It's not her
Yeah.
worst hit.
It's better than any toxic I can think of.
Honestly, I actually listened to Britney Spears' Toxic, and what's the other one she's got? Hit Me Baby. I thought they were the same song.
For the longest time? Or?
Yeah, and then they're actually two separate tracks, but they're essentially the same thing. It's pretty.
What's the one where? Oh no, that is "Hit Me, Baby" one more time. Where
See what I'm saying? This is what I was going through.
He goes to the bottom of the ocean. I thought the old lady dropped it in the bottom of the ocean. And he's like, I went down and got it for you, baby.
I have no idea. What
That's
you're
a
talking
Britney Spears. Is that the music video or is that
Yeah,
like the
dude.
song?
She's on like Mars and he's in a spacesuit. And for some reason,
I didn't know she knew that like Mars exists. Like I didn't know she had any knowledge of the world around
She's
her.
apparently
Might
painting.
not.
She's apparently painting right now. She paints.
Wow, her and Jim Carrey.
what? Yeah, Jim. I've heard Jim Carrey's been killing it.
Too.
He's a fucking lunatic.
Dude,
He just knows. He's figured something out.
No, he hasn't.
No, you're right.
No, he got enough money to say, you know what, I'm going to be ethereal and mystical now, and
apparently
so okay.
he's doing a movie about some dude who, like, I don't know, researched all sorts of types of psilocybin and like psychedelics, things like that. So Jim Carrey like went down to like the Amazon or something and spent like months in the rainforest tripping fucking mushrooms every day.
Whoa.
And that I I would guess why he's kind of
That's weird. So he's
woke
like,
in quotations.
yeah, he's woke. Hashtag woke. Jim Carrey. No, that's crazy. So he's like the new Terrence McKenna. But he doesn't talk about the mushrooms at all. He just talks about how,
No.
Nothing means anything.
Yes.
yeah, he's just,
Apparently his paintings are pretty crazy. He's like getting canvases that are like the size of floors. And he has to get this like sort of like machined where he like hovers over it and lays on his stomach so he doesn't like touch anything. And he paints on that. I don't know what the fucking machine's called, but I saw a video.
I
of
feel
it.
like it just sounds like he has a bunch of money and he doesn't want to be
May as well just blow
labeled
it
as
on something,
mediocre.
right?
He's like, I'm the guy who does the big shit. Nobody else does that. I'm great.
So he just finger paints now.
Ooh, finger painting. Non-toxic.
Oh man, he finger paints while listening to Britney Spears.
Don't mix the chips and dip with that.
Ugh.
We need to get back on topic.
We
California,
gotta-
California, your
I
Russian
had a
wife,
Californication.
Alexandra,
Right.
amazing person, sent back to Russia. And what did you do
What did I do?
when that happened?
I came back here to Illinois.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, no, it
There's
sucks.
nothing here.
It sucks balls. It is weird. I thought it'd be better than it was. Like, and I had this driving back from California. I stopped by my mom's place in Utah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which is out in the middle of nowhere.
We're at near Utah.
Kanab, Utah. So it's like in between Zion and the Grand Canyon.
Okay, word.
So people stop there to go to those two places.
It's beautiful.
But the rest of the time of the year, it's just empty.
Mhm.
It's trailer trash. People letting cars just rot away in their backyards.
So
But
kind of
it's-
like here.
yeah, except like you're surrounded by the majesty of nature instead of like
Instead of this.
there's like 13 bars per square foot in this place.
What?
There's 13 bars in Waterloo and there's
That's true.
11 churches.
Jesus.
Hold on, there's
Christ.
13 in Waterloo?
There's 13 bars.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I mean-
count them right now because
Yeah,
we're
we
going to
don't-
sit here and like be like, what's that one?
What's that one? Oh, yeah.
Where can I go get a root beer float where it's just root beer schnapps and stag? The most fucking Waterloo thing possible.
That's disgusting. That's gross. But yeah, so I stopped over there and then I ended up calling her a cunt because me and my mom have a history of just stepping on each other's toes.
Yep,
And, she's fine. She's her own person, but she's very narrow-minded. So that happened. I called her a cunt. I left at 11:30 at night to make a 14-hour drive to Lehman, Colorado.
All right.
So I drove for about 8 hours in darkness. And I
Holy shit.
saw like 25 deer on the side of the road. And every time you see them, and I'm pulling a trailer with a 2-wheel drive mid-sized SUV. So I see a deer and I like kind of slam on the brakes, but you can't slam on the brakes because you'll fishtail and flip over.
Yep.
But
Bad
they
news.
literally stand on the side of the road and they look at the road and it's nerve wracking.
Please tell me you at least did Kansas during the night.
No, I had to do Kansas during the
That's the
daytime.
worst.
God.
Kansas is the
Yeah.
worst to drive through.
Honestly, what was worse than Kansas was right before you get to Kansas.
Yeah, when you're still in Colorado
Mhm.
and you're like, oh.
Once you get out of the mountains and I hate Denver.
I have a love-hate relationship with Denver.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I've never been in it. Like I have been in it when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
but it's so close to the mountains.
Yeah.
But it's not really in the mountains.
Right.
And it's dirty and it's trashy and it's disgusting.
We called those people when I lived like deep in the mountains in Colorado, we called the people in Denver front rangers because they would act like they knew everything about the mountains, but really they fucking didn't. They were just weekend warriors in the mountains.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Lord of the Rings where they have to go into the mountains to fight the dead people.
Yep.
They're always sitting on the outside of the chasm. Is there an animal
There's
locked
something
in a
going
room?
on right next to us. Let's see.
I think
What's going on over there?
surprise guest on the podcast.
It's a kitty cat.
It's a kitty cat.
Welcome to the podcast, kitty.
How long have you been in there? Damn.
Yeah, she looks.
Well, she doesn't look
She
malnourished.
looks damaged.
She doesn't look malnourished. She actually looks like she might have gotten fatter.
We
So
love
she's very-
we love animals, guys. We love animals. Nothing. The cat's fine.
Yeah, but you can
the cat's
you can
fine.
berate them.
She stress eats all the time, so she's probably got a lot in her belly.
Yeah, but
But yeah, fucking
Denver's just weird. I mean, it's smoky. They don't have any pretty buildings. It all looks
That
just
is
like
true.
it looks like sheet metal on plywood,
Very true.
and glued together. So it's a stick built city with nothing to offer, and except to drive through it to get to the most beautiful place on earth, which is Middle Colorado.
It's true.
it inspired me. I was driving through there on no sleep, and it was sort of like a psychedelic experience. And it was launched off literally by me seeing on the border of Colorado, between Colorado and Utah, I saw a rocket being launched into the air from a military base. I knew it wasn't a plane because it was going straight up and down, and it looked like it was on fire.
That's fucking awesome.
It was amazing. And I Googled it. I didn't, normally they I guess they should say, hey, we're launching a rocket, so don't freak out.
Right.
You know, North Korea, whatever. But
North Korea or whatever.
Well, yeah. Also, I don't think North Korea would launch a rocket from the United States. Probably
That'd be
into the
ballsy.
United States.
That'd be smart.
It would be.
Kim Jong, if you're listening to this, don't just stop listening to this. 'Cause
Yeah.
we don't want to give you any advice.
No, but if you want to come on the show,
Yeah, we'll be more than happy to talk
Yeah.
to you.
come
fly
here, you,
us out to North Korea.
come here, you big fat adorable baby.
Come here. Come right here.
My favorite part of Utah is definitely like Canyonland and like Moab
Yeah.
and things like that. It's fucking goddamn
It's amazing to drive through there and know that at one point this was all the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what it looks like,
Yep,
is
yep.
the bottom of the ocean. And I'm driving through there on no sleep, having gone through hours of driving in the dark and people telling me to be careful because the elk are down low, so I might hit an elk. And if I hit an elk, it's just going to split my car in half because
Pretty
those things
much.
are
So, yeah.
gigantic.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
And I see this rocket get launched, and I pull over on the side of the road to take a piss, and my mind just started changing, and I was getting really giddy and happy, sort of like the start of a trip.
Right.
And I was on the phone with my wife, and then the connection started to short out, and the landscape starts to change, and the mountains start to grow up. So you see the difference between what was the bottom of the ocean to what became of these tectonic collisions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's majestic.
Surreal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
And
miss it. I miss it every day.
I started having these dreams and these possibilities of buying a van, like a hippie van,
Yep.
and getting some like red shag carpet in there and some sound dampening
Yes.
equipment and fucking maybe like one of those top racks to put a tent and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff, and you know, just pull over on the side of the road and go have sex in the back for a bit and keep going on the trip. You know what I mean? And
Living the dream, man.
dude, that is the dream, being completely free.
I'm a big fan of Arizona personally. There's something about the desert,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say I went through something similar that you did, because instead of someone I love being sent back to somewhere else, it was someone I love breaking my heart and sending me back to this place.
Oh, you got pushed back here.
I did. I was in Telluride, Colorado, which is down near Four Corners for 2 years, and the person I brought out there kind of,
Took advantage.
yeah, she did something, and I don't know. It's in the past, but what came from it is I took a trip to Phoenix, like the week after she pretty much broke up with me, and I had to figure out what the fuck I was doing with my life,
Mhm.
because we had an apartment together, we had everything, and she was pretty much like, "This is mine now."
Oh, that's
And-
terrible.
Which is bullshit, because I brought her there. Like,
Whose
that
name
my
was
home-
on the lease?
both of ours.
That's where it gets tricky.
But I went up through like Flagstaff, Arizona.
Flagstaff
and-
is amazing.
Oh my God, it was so cool. Like driving down out of the mountains through Colorado, and then you hit the Four Corners and then desert. And then you go
Yeah.
up into Flagstaff,
Yeah.
which is the only mountain area in Arizona and shit. And there's still snow up there at this time. It's like the end of March this
Yeah.
year. Back down into like the desert. I'm finally seeing like sequoias and like all these cool
Yeah.
ass cactuses and awesome shit. And yeah, I don't know. I fell in love with Arizona while I was having, I guess, an existential crisis within
Yeah.
myself, because I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, there's something to traveling through like a changing
Yes.
landscape while you're going through a change in yourself, you know?
Very, therapeutic, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
I can only imagine it because I went to Chicago, and the trip from here to Chicago is just nothing.
Nothing. But
Just
I had
nothing.
nothing. There's a good nothing, like
not
middle
always
of
true.
Utah and middle of Arizona. That's a good nothing when it's just desert. But then there's a bad nothing, like Kansas.
Now that I think about it,
Oh, God,
my
I'm
future,
PTSD.
my future with this hippie van might be marked with my experience driving to Chicago. I was driving to Chicago and there was a hippie van next to us going faster than us, and we were going like 80. And then a deer jumps out and straight on, just hits the deer. The back
What?
half of the deer gets caught under the car, and the top half gets thrown over the car. It gets split in half, and there's a gut trail across the windshield.
Whoa.
And I'm just imagining like fucking like Shaggy and Velma just going, "Oh no!" Bravo.
Really, instead of a deer, it was the villain they were trying to capture dressed as a deer, some mystery solved.
Right.
Like,
It's a good dead deer on the side of the road.
gotten away with it.
If it wasn't for you happenstantial children.
Like, I think we killed him, guys.
But yeah, so I see this rocket get launched. I'm taking my piss. I get back in the car, and I was eating kale, and kale is.
not at the fact that you were eating kale, just how
You should.
random it came
So
on.
random.
You should laugh
Taking
at the
a
fact
piss
that I'm
and
eating kale. No. That's like saying I was putting lotion on myself. Like I was trying to moisturize,
Just watching this rocket, just fucking rubbing lotion all over me.
and just
like,
got
alright.
done with like maternity yoga. And I'm eating kale, which is a superfood, man. Like if you're ever feeling down and you eat some kale, you'll be like, "Holy shit, I feel
Very
good."
nutritious.
Oh, it's amazing. It's full
Someone
of
had
vitamins.
Kale chips once that I was eating.
Kale
Like,
chips.
It was like straight, like dried kale. I don't know how to.
Kind of like how they do seaweed. I'm
Yes,
assuming.
yes.
Yeah.
It was exactly like that.
Yeah.
I was like, these are actually like. I ate one. I was like, whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep going back in this bag. Okay.
It grows on you, man. Like I had this guy sitting next to me at school. He's the one who turned me on to kale. He was like this super fit guy. He ate 2 Subway sandwiches per day.
What?
And
Get out of here.
yeah, and he was just like beefed up as hell, but super quiet and timid. I called him a sneaky bitch in front of everybody, like during a a presentation or something. I felt bad after that, and I told him, and he said it was cool. And then he offered me some kale, and
It's cool, man. Here's some kale.
yeah, he's like, why don't you just try some kale, man? Maybe you'll calm the fuck down. And I was like, maybe I will. And I ate the kale, and he gave me kale every day after that. And I can't stop with it, man. It makes me feel so good.
Do you want to give a shout out to him? What was his name?
Shout out to Grayson Hughes, I think his name was.
Shout out to Grayson.
Shout out to Grayson from San Diego. The dude would like start feeling sleepy, so he'd go run, and he'd come back, and we're in California. He's just soaked in sweat, sitting at his desk. I was just like, that guy's just doesn't give a fuck.
Just one of a kind, eh?
Yeah, he was a good guy. He was a good guy.
So that's where you lived, was San Diego?
No, okay, another interesting fact about him. I was in Irvine. Well, I lived in Anaheim. School was in Irvine. He drove from San Diego to Irvine every single day to go to
Get the
school.
fuck out of here.
Every single day, there and back, just to go to school.
So he didn't sleep, is what you're saying.
He ate kale, is what I'm
All
saying.
right, touche. Okay.
Who
He
needs
he
sleep
took
when you got kale?
and just ran.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, that's what I learned from him is like, I don't need to feel like such a slub all the time if I just treat myself properly. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I kept on with the kale tradition, and I'm still doing it today. I got back here. Well, we'll get to when I got back here. Everybody in my family is so unhealthy and gross.
Yeah, you were talking about that, how you got back and everyone's just fucking lounging, eating pizza. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
thought
dude,
so.
that's the Midwest, man.
It really
It's the
is.
Midwest. It's
And-
we're all pieces of shit here.
And yeah, and I went through that like whole existential existence, the dream of the hippie van.
Realization.
Yeah. All this joy. I sent like 45 minutes of messages to my wife being like, I want to fuck you. I want to make love to your whole soul. I want us to be the same person in the back of a hippie van at a truck stop. Like, it was really romantic. And,
That's pretty fucking romantic in my eyes, too.
well, and like I got a like computer education now, so all I need is a hotspot and a job that lets me go wherever I want. And
You're
I
set.
yeah, and I get the van and I have a passport, so I can travel around all of North America.
Just live in the yeah.
Yeah, and just live in the van because I don't like being tied down. That's
There's
what I
a
learned.
big thing. Like I was on like a Reddit, and it was just all van dwellers, and they just talk about their experiences and how they do it and make it easier because it's actually a thing. There's people who literally live out of fucking vans, and I
That's
looked into
cool.
it for a while.
Yeah, there's communities of people that you don't even realize exist.
Yeah.
Until you kind of like go outside for a bit.
Right? Do your due diligence.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to going past the point that you think is okay, or going past the point of comfort to actually learn something.
I was gonna say something. It's something. There's a line. It's like comfort and something else are never in the same room, or something like that. Like you have to go out of your comfort zone to do something that you've never done, or something that you really want to do.
You could fill that blank with a lot of things: comfort and wisdom. Something like that.
For sure. Yeah, exactly.
Because I was doing all this. I was doing
Comfort and conviction, I think.
Ooh, yeah, that's a better word. That's
Yep.
a real like.
Yeah, it's something like that. Conviction and comfort are never in
That's like a William
never in the same
Burroughs.
room together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta experiment, and you gotta.
You really do, man. It's the most important thing about life is living life. And I think a lot of people get distracted and a lot of people get scared. And it's okay. I mean, we're all here and we're all, going through the same experience. But I think if you step outside and you just go a little bit farther than you think you should, you'll find something that you didn't even
Fear
realize.
is the best thing for us. I always feel that because you're scared of things you don't know, scared of things that you've never experienced. But like once you move past the fear, everything's A-okay.
Fear's the best thing for you if you can move past it, though.
True.
Some people can't or choose not to. I think that's a bigger thing is the choice aspect.
Yeah.
I'm not big on disenfranchising anybody. I'm not big on saying like people can't do stuff because I think people can do stuff. People run 200-mile marathons and that's not even good for you, but they do it. And, you just move a little bit outside and you find some stuff. Like I went on the biggest moment with this, I went on a hike and I went farther than I felt like my body could go. And I still had to turn around and go all the way back.
Yeah.
And I found a tarantula.
I saw that picture. That was
Mhm.
gnarly, dude. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck that. I hate spiders. Fuck that shit.
No, he was super chill. The sun was going down. It was getting kind of cool. And he was barely moving. I honestly thought he was on his last leg. And so I picked him up with a stick, not with my hands. I probably, I've held tarantulas, but I'm scared of spiders as well.
I fucking hate them, man.
They're terrible. Somebody said, like, the worst thing isn't to see a spider, it's to look back and it's gone.
That is.
for sure.
That is.
Yeah. And I don't like them. They creep me out. But it's the little, like they move. My cousin explained to me that they move in like a hydraulic manner. So it doesn't seem natural. It's not asymmetric. Like it's weird. So,
Yep.
yeah. So they're weird on a small scale. But when you enlarge them, they become less intimidating.
For sure.
Which doesn't seem logical because like if you had a really small, like monkey or something, it would still be adorable. It wouldn't be frightening unless it was a spider monkey. But yeah, so I went out there. I found the spider. I saw a rattlesnake. That was crazy.
Snakes are cool. I'm down with snakes.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was a little bit scared of him, but I moved past it. I got past the snake, and he was elongated. And when they're elongated, you don't really have to
You're
worry about
fine.
it.
Right,
Yeah,
they're relaxing.
yeah, yeah. If they're coiled up and like calling 911, then maybe you should move on.
I'm scared. There's a guy out here hiking.
There's a giant man.
911. What is your emergency?
We're sending a team out right to you right now.
We'll shoot that
Sir,
man.
calm down. Sir, we need you to calm down.
Can snakes purr? That'd be something.
So you just got back, is what Christian has been informing me.
Yeah, I just got back. I came out of the mountains. I went through Denver. Denver started my descent back into
The Midwest hell.
the Midwest
Like,
hell.
this is what we have. Yeah.
The mind state,
know
too.
Exactly
The
what
mind
that
state.
feels like.
Yeah, it's terrible. This place really drowns people.
It does.
And it's weird because it's kind of a magical environment if you take away all of the human self-suffering. I mean, you have this massive expanse of flatland woodlands and roaming hills and cool wildlife. I mean, I'll say it.
For sure.
I never really appreciated white-tailed deer or like, red-tailed hawks or the cardinal or whatever we have here that's important, but they're cool, man. Like, it's cool. It's just that the people are so self-deserving or something. It's like you expect, and social media has something to play with that. Yeah, cancer. Everybody has cancer, and everybody's dying.
A lot of since coming back from a place where everyone's happy all the time about what they're going, like what's happening in their lives, like in the mountains, like every day it's like we can walk out our front doors and we can go hike 10 miles and see shit we've never seen. Here it's like people are just like, I can be happy when I come across like people, my friends and
Right.
things like that. But I see more people just all the time like, I need to do something else. I need to
Yeah.
do something else in my life. And it's always that. It's never that they take the next step and actually do something.
Mhm.
It's just they just want to keep complaining and being like, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy doing this.
Mhm.
And like,
That's
blah,
me
blah.
sometimes. That's me most of the time, actually.
And it's just like, go do it. Just go.
Yeah. You just got to be like, you really have to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? And then no matter what you're afraid of, unless it's like important, but I don't know what anybody finds important, so I'm not going to give an example. So no
Right.
matter what you're afraid of, I mean, we were talking about earlier, fear is an important thing to push through. Just drop it. Just say it's not important. Make it not important
Right.
to you. And
Make it
figure
just
out
like
how
another
to,
thing.
yeah, just be like, you know what? If that wasn't in my life, I'd still be okay. You know, I'd still be able to push past this and live my life, because life is an experience that is unlike any other that we know of. Because
If you open up to it.
yes.
From what we know, we only get one. We just get one life to experience.
Well,
shit.
you get one of these,
one of these.
one of
yeah.
this one where you get to be this guy who you know is you.
Yes.
You know, and I'm happy to be me. I'm
I'm
just
pretty happy with myself for the
Yeah.
most part.
well, because we're all interesting people, which is why we're in the same room together right now.
Touche.
But I think people are very sad here when they're alone.
Yes.
The seasons change, and
Oh, I felt it last week.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
it's weird, man. And like other places, the seasons change, and you're just like, slap on the coat. Let's just get out in the snow.
That's what Kyle's been preaching, dude. He's
Yeah.
just like, when it snows, it's the best. But like, I'm like, no, dude, here it's slush and
No.
shit. Everyone has a shit mood and everything's shit.
Yeah.
I would be so stoked last winter. It'd be like -32 outside, blizzard conditions, and I'm sitting on my couch with a blanket, like, ooh, This is
Totally.
amazing.
Or like -32. I wonder if I can do a 10-mile run in shorts. But
like so cold, there's frost and ice forming inside your windows. That's how
Yeah.
cold. Like,
yeah, but it's like, it's humbling,
It
you know,
is.
because you have something real to deal with. Here, it's just like,
it's
oh,
so
I guess my heating bill.
depressing. Right.
Yeah.
My eating.
Ah.
And like it's almost like the negativity is contagious, and I'm trying so hard to like fight against
Well,
it.
I don't even know if it's contagious. It is, in the sense of like,
It is, a little bit.
spreads exactly like a disease does, because people get depressed and they want other people. This is honestly the
Misery loves company.
yes. And so then you just hang out and make each other more like, my life sucks. And then that guy's like, my life sucks. And you're like, you know what we should do? We should get drunk.
We should just suck together.
Right. We
Like,
should
yeah.
just suck it up and be sucky people instead of
Yeah.
actually like helping each other push through it.
Yeah. And it's not hard to live here. This is the easiest place in the United States that you could possibly live, because anywhere that is nice is expensive. This place is cheap as fuck.
For sure.
I have a buddy complaining about like paying a few $100 a month to live in his own place, but he makes like $17 an hour. He's like, I hope I can afford it. I'm like, what are you fucking
Like, what are
talking
you
about?
doing? Like, stop going to the
Yeah.
fucking bar, you piece of
He
shit.
doesn't even go to the bar. I don't know what he does with this. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know. To me, it seems like he's got like 20 grand stacked up, and he's like, I can't afford it. I'm like, what are you saving for? I don't know what you're doing.
It's another thing too with people like that I come across around here. Like people in Telluride would save their money to go on vacation. Like as soon as the season was over, people here would like just save their money to talk about what they're gonna do, but never actually do. Like it, I don't
Well,
know.
and that's the thing about Telluride, man. It's beautiful out there, and people are saving their money to go on vacation, you said?
So we have seasons, all the locals. So obviously we have our rich fucks that come in and
Right.
give us all their money, which is great. We hate them.
The investors? Without them, though.
We would always hate them. We always talk shit on them, but though we can't hate them because they bring their money and spend it like it's fucking nothing. All these Texas fucking rich fucks who
I
only
love
come
Texas.
there, who only come there for 2 months out of
like
the year.
Texas?
I love Texas.
Blow their money. So there's obviously the ski season, and that ends in mid-April. Or sorry, end of March, but no one really does anything until mid-April, and then nothing starts. Like there's festival season, is what they call it, where I've seen some of the coolest fucking bands ever,
That's
and
killer.
in the span of 4 months of the summer, and then it at the end of or middle of October it dies again until end of November. So all the locals that just made so much cash from all these
Yeah.
rich fucks is blowing it in their vacation town.
Dude.
Everyone just goes for like a month, like just goes places.
That's awesome. But that's amazing.
Yes.
And I want to draw a contrast to the vacation attitude here. which is we're going to save up all of our money to go on vacation when you could save up all of your money
To move
to
somewhere
move
else,
somewhere
that
nice.
You're not gonna complain about, right?
Right. No, they go like live this fantasy for like a little bit, and you can't even really do that because you know that you have to come back
You
here.
know that you have
I think
to
that's
come
why I
back.
was so happy. I lived in people's vacations.
Yeah.
Like I lived in a
Ooh,
place people
yeah.
saved all their money to go vacation in, but I lived there. It was like I didn't own a car because the town is so tiny. I could just walk and ride my bike everywhere. Like my job was 2 minutes from my apartment as a walk. I made $500 a night, just walk home. Like
That's awesome.
You were talking, I think last night, you were talking about how somebody told you it's not about how much you make a night, it's how much you wake up with.
yes, because there was a big thing in Telluride, and it still is. All the locals, we make a lot of money. That means we blow a lot of money. And I'm not talking, well, I'm talking both senses, literally. And
Hookers say we make a lot of money because we blow a lot of guys.
yeah, we made a lot of money and then blew it all
Oh,
away.
that's what you mean.
That's what I meant.
Whoa.
Oh, dude, every night for almost 2 years.
Snow-capped mountains.
Yeah, it's not just, they don't call it a ski town or like a snow town just for the fact that there's a fucking ski resort there.
That's
Like,
cool.
Everyone, every fucking
I
night.
heard that's what Aspen used to be like.
Dude,
it
they're
might
all
still
like
be
it out
like
there.
that.
They're all
yeah.
like, all the ski towns are like it, man. Live fucking fast. Like that's the mindset. Like make a fuck ton of money and then party as hard as possible.
Which is so strange. I mean, like it's not strange, but it like people could do that here and they'd
Right.
still be miserable.
Yes.
Yep.
People could not do that out there and they'd still be happy.
I had enough friends. Like, yes, most people in that town, the locals, would party every night, but I had friends who literally would get off work, go home, go to bed, wake up at like 8 a.m., go on a long hike, come
Yeah.
home, go to work, go back to bed.
You
same
have
thing.
options.
I was
looking,
you know what those people did?
Mm.
Fucking made
Just
buku bucks.
saved it, yeah.
Like insane.
Yeah.
So I think back, I'm like, dude, I made a fuck ton of money. I was walking out with like $400 in tips a night at my restaurant job. But you know what? I'd fucking spend $250 after I fucking made it because I was like, fuck it, let's fucking get down.